Hey, I'm Seth Hawkins. Welcome to the CedTalks Podcast. My guest today is an old friend of mine from school. He's in the military, he's a hard worker, and I'm proud to showcase his ambition on the show today. Right now, here is Geovany Carino. Gio, welcome to the show.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How's life been treating you? It's been a while since we've caught up and talked, man. How has life been for you?
It's been good. And I mean, like I said, it's good and bad. I think that can go for everyone. I think this year and this past year has been kind of like very challenging with the whole pandemic and a lot of issues we have going on in society, and even to this day it's still happening. And I don't know, to be honest with you, I'm still trying to find that balance. I guess, you know what I mean? That balance of just having it to be, good. But I mean, I think we're all trying to find that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like things are slowly getting better, but it's like we're still kind of in the same predicament. Like we can't really go out the way we want to because like even though you're vaccinated, there's still a chance you can catch the virus. So it's like we're still living in uncertain times, but there's a good and a bad to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. To go off of that whole immunizations and stuff. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm just not really with it. I've been offered it many times. It's just even the military, they're not even making it mandatory. So it's just for right now they're not. But eventually, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be forced to take it.
Yeah.
But,
I feel you. Like I got my vaccine back in January just because I figured that I'm healthy. I might as well, get it just to take a chance with myself because I know lots of people want to get it, and I'm a educator, I'm a teacher, so I was like, why not jump at the opportunity and do it? So I got it, and I've been feeling great ever since. So it works for some people, but it doesn't work for others. So it's like it's hard to say. So I definitely understand your reasons for not wanting to get it.
Right.
Yeah. When the pandemic first started last year in March of 2020, how did that affect you? Did you really believe in the hype of the coronavirus, or were you really serious about it?
So it's a funny. No, it's not funny, but it's for me. I actually felt like I had it before the pandemic had hit. I had gotten really ill, I believe, last year, January timeframe, like New Year's timeframe. I didn't know what was going on. It was just a lot of runny noses and just coughing and a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't know. I think I already had the COVID at that point before it became a thing. But after I got I was healthy again. I mean, then COVID started hitting other people. It started becoming like a real big pandemic thing, which I knew it would be. Honestly, I felt like that COVID this last year and this year, I feel like it's impacted me a lot, and not just mentally, physically, but also just like life in general, like relationships, people, work, school. I was in the middle of school when this had happened with the whole pandemic and stuff, and then that took a U-turn. Went from going to classes to actually just going into virtual classes, and that was a little different getting adjusted to. But I mean, overall though, is just getting used to it. I think the biggest lesson I've learned so far of just the whole thing was learning how to adapt. And I think that's the key thing. I feel like a lot of people keep assuming that things are going to go back to normal. In my opinion, I just don't think there is going to be another normal. I think the normal that people are looking for is, in my opinion, is us adapting to what is going on right now. And when we find that adaptation, then we're able to find that baseline where, all right, life is like this from now on, but, we're learning to live in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm glad you said that word, like adapt, and just adapting to everything that's going on, because like things I feel like are slowly improving and increasing, but it's like we're still adapting because I heard there's like a new wave of COVID out now. So anything can change and numbers are increasing. So it's like anything can happen. So it's like you got to keep your head on the swivel, but it's like you have to adapt. It's like you can't think that everything is going to be better overnight and that we can go back to a world where we don't have to wear masks and we shouldn't worry about 6 feet apart. Like, this is still a real thing. Like, people are still dying from this thing. So it's just like we have to be like cautious of what we do instead of just being reckless and going out and just not caring.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you feel like since March of 2020 that you've grown as an individual since the pandemic happened?
I definitely do believe that. I feel like we all have. I think the biggest thing is my mindset. I feel like that's shifted with having to adapt again with life and how things are going on now. The military, especially me being in that, having to adapt not only to what's been going on in the world, but having to also keep a bearing during work, not allowing what's happening outside of work to distract me, because I do have to keep a class of professionalism while I'm working. I think that's also another thing. Also, it's just, overall, it's just, things in life that just teaching you how to become more patient also as a person. I feel like that's also a big thing for me. I feel like last year and this year has taught me a lot about just being patient with things, because nothing is moving right now. And when we went on quarantine and everyone was just home, a lot of time just to spend with their loved ones or family, and you just learn to become patient overall as a person, and that leads into new skill sets that you have now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Like, I definitely do relate to that in the sense that I think I've grown also since the pandemic started in March of last year. Definitely my faith in the Lord and my relationship with Christ has been improved and better since that's happened, because I've pretty much relied on that and relied on Him to help get me through those difficult situations. So I definitely do feel like I've matured, mentally as a person, while also spiritually.
Right, correct.
Yeah. Talk to me about your faith in God, because I know we were talking earlier last week and you said you're really a religious person and you love the Lord. So talk to me about that. When did that first start for you?
So honestly, I started going to church when I was a toddler youth. I've always been. I was just in there in the building, just wasn't really listening. You know how we all are growing up.
Right.
There because mom says to go. No, I think as I got in middle school time frame, I started really paying attention and understanding. Again, I kind of was by myself in my mind. My mother she had worked 2 jobs, so she wasn't home as much, but she was in the most important times. And then just having that reassurance, knowing that where my mind is growing, where I was, going towards, what goals I had in life, it just really brought me more comfort. So that's when I started finding God and understanding that and how He works, and overall the stories, and how everything was made and how everything is made for us. So I felt like when I had found that, it gave me reassurance to just continue to hold on and grow that faith. And I did go. Everyone goes through their challenging times. Everyone has ups and downs, and just for me, having that faith really helped me get through that, helped me push through that. And but again, I don't like to use the term Christian. If you believe in God, you believe in God. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't like to put titles on it.
Right.
We're not all perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not. I could definitely claim to that. But at the end of the day, I could always try to become a better person. And I feel like this year and this past year, my faith has been tested quite a bit. And it says in the Bible that happens. It will happen. Even as a follower of God, your faith will be tested. And, whether you stray away from the path, you can always find your way back. So that's kind of, I've been trying to work on that a lot more and trying to get back on that right path. And just because I've become a little distant from it. So.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do believe that it's all about the heart. And if your heart truly matters, and if you really do believe that Christ died for your sins and He is willing to love you unconditionally, even when you stray away, I feel like that's all that matters. If your heart is pure and, ready for God and ready to love God and trust Him, that's what I feel like it's all about. Because even I've had moments where I've kind of strayed away. I didn't pray to God with certain situations, and I assumed that I just knew everything, and obviously I didn't, and I would fall on my face, but I always went back to the Lord just because I had that spirit within me when I gave my life to Christ. So I just think it's a beautiful thing once you give your life to God. You're pretty much with Him for life. Even if you stray away from Him, He's not straying away from you.
Correct. And we're human. It's built in our DNA to unfortunately mess up sometimes. And we're not always going to be perfect. So I know everyone that messes up, don't feel persecuted. Don't feel like, your life is coming to an end now. God, we have a Lord and He forgives. that's something that we should cherish always. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any favorite verses that come to mind?
To be honest, not really. I just kind of go with the flow, man. Like, I've been trying to kind of read up more on my Bible, trying to understand it a little bit more in depth, because like I was never taught that. I was just kind of taught just to go to church, and that was it. That's something I'm trying to get more into, trying to understand all the verses and stuff. But honestly, I do my due diligences. Like, I try to pray. I try to, talk more with God one-on-one, go on walks, I sound like an old man now.
Yeah.
I go on walks now with myself and work out, exercise, talk to myself in my mind and try to understand and, look for reassurance. And, sometimes when I don't know, I'm not sure if this is just me, but when I go to church, there's always that, like, one topic they talk about all of a sudden, and it's, like, relating to you, like,
yes.
100%. Like,
I'm hit, bro.
like, is God listening to me? Like, is this really, like, yeah, so, I mean, right now, again, I'm still working on my relationship with God, and this year and this past year has definitely challenged it a lot, but, overall, I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm still learning and everything, you can never stop learning. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. I think the cool thing about wearing masks is like now I can talk to God under my breath, and people don't have to assume like
you can sing at church now. Yeah, and no one
yeah, exactly. People, yeah, I be in public, people thinking, "What's this guy talking about?" It's like I got a mask on, so now people can't see me talking to God under my breath, because that used to be like a big fear of mine, because I talk to him in my mind, but I feel like when you speak it out and you're like being open about it, like he can hear you more versus saying it in your mind. So now it's like I got my mask on, so if I feel like saying something to God, I can say it under my breath, maybe whisper it, but I know he can hear me somewhere. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to have that relationship with him and that bond with him.
Definitely, I agree, man.
Yeah. Do you think that people who are spiritual, who believe in God, that they should have a relationship with him?
I mean, I'm not really one to judge. I'm not one to kind of steer the person the right way or wrong.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're all grown-ups. You're your own person. Only life will really direct you. No one can really tell you where to go. I've never liked that growing up in, like, some churches and some atmospheres. They try to stir you going into this one path. Like, you have to go this path. Like, allow me to find it out for myself, And I feel that, if you find that path and you feel that, God, you want to accept that and that interests you, and, by all means, go for it. And great. If it works, it works. I mean, some people go to church, become, Christian or Catholic, and they end up not wanting to do it anymore. I mean, not everyone's going to be a follower. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you know what I mean? The world's always been like that. And the whole, you need to do this, you need to do that. It doesn't work. You don't allow that person to understand the true foundation of when they do find Christ, and then they realize where they came from, rather than having someone tell them what to do and kind of skimming the way just straight to it.
Yeah, I also feel like that's kind of with life also, in the sense that people try to formulate our own thoughts and try to get us to go down paths that they want us to go down. But at the end of the day, it's our life, and we have to make that decision on our own. And so I think that's a good way to kind of look at life also, is that you have to form your own interpretation with everything and not rely on other people's words and what they want you to do.
Exactly. You're your own author, man. You write your own book.
Exactly. Talk to me about your childhood growing up as a kid. I know you said you went to church as a toddler, but what were some of the things that your mom and dad instilled in you as a kid growing up?
So, growing up as a kid, so first, like, growing up, I didn't have a father. I mean, everyone kind of goes through that phase, and some people don't have fathers, some people do, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For me, I just didn't have a father at the time, and then my mother was kind of like the backbone between me and my brother, and then my little sister, eventually when she came along the way. So I guess the values and morals that I've kind of got from my mother, from seeing her work 2 jobs, having to, put food on the table, put clothes on our back. My life was good, I guess, as growing up, youth-wise, it was good. I can't complain. I was definitely blessed to have experiences that most kids don't get a chance to experience, even today, as grown-ups. Like, my mother worked hard, so I was able to go on vacation sometimes when she wanted to do a family vacation, all that, jazz, Disney World, and type of stuff. I mean, like I said, I had a good childhood. I mean, again, though, it had its ups and downs. Obviously, having a father really, I feel like, is very impactful for someone, especially a male, because you kind of don't get to understand that foundation of what, growing up as a kid to becoming a man, and you kind of miss out on some of those fundamentals that could prepare you how to, be more mature a lot faster. And overall, though, my mother, working hard, disciplined, making sure her priorities were straight. I took all those in my mind and kept running with it. And then when my mother had gotten married to my stepfather, and he, was an outstanding man, great. He still is a great man. He was military, did more than 20 plus years in the military in the Air Force. And, to this day, from when they got married and then he installed that military brand in me, it was just, he helped me take my skill set that I already had gotten taught by my mother to a whole different level. And to this day, I thank him for that always, because he was able to give me something that, was the hole in my life at the time.
Yeah.
Having that father role model. And that's honestly, being in the military is probably because of that reason, just seeing him doing it, applying himself, just holding himself high in a room. Like, I always hold myself high. And the biggest thing that I learned from him was that protecting your brand, not allowing it to deteriorate with, like, the way you expose or express yourself in public. And also just having all your ducks in a row, fundamentally, and being that first guy in, last guy out type of mentality.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to teach myself also, too, as I've gotten older. It's just, like you said, protecting my brand, making sure that when I walk into a room, people know who I am and they can see the confidence coming out me, not the arrogance, but just someone that is very sure of themselves. They know what they want to get out of life, and they're confident in their beliefs, and they know that what they set their mind to do, they can go out and do it. And I think that's great. And I think that's something a lot of people in the military have. And I respect that. And I always try to get to that level of just that assurance that they know what they're doing and they don't care what people say. They're going to do it no matter what. So, kudos to you for being able to have that.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Shifting gears from that, talk to me about football. I know you got into that, throughout your adolescence. How did you necessarily get into that?
So football was a thing, kind of just. To this day, I gotta thank my mom, because without her, I would have never played football. And football has definitely installed those fundamentals in me as well. I left that out. That was a big piece of me. Football definitely helped me escape. Conflicts, fears, and a whole bunch of stuff. I started playing football in Florida, in Naples, for the small Pop Warner team called Naples Gators. My mom one day saw me at home just chilling, just, eating on the couch, playing video games. And she was like, "No, we got to put you in sports, man. You're getting too big." I was like, "Yeah." So then, I ended up playing, a little flag football first, and then did 1 year of that, and tackle football. And then, from there, just kept with it. And then my brother played football, and then, I just stayed in it. And then eventually I got to high school, and I became better. Overall, I just started getting better and better. And people started seeing that and started telling me that I could do something with it. And then when I moved to Maine, my stepfather, when I left Maryland, Huntingtown, I started getting looked at by bigger schools and stuff. And even to this day, I still remember when I got a letter from an Ivy League school from Harvard, and it was sent to my school talking about, come to this, we're going to try to help you do admissions and stuff. It was cool. It was a good experience. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of stuff, a lot of big things for football, but at the end of the day, it was kind of like no one had offered, and that was kind of like bugging me the most. And at the end of the day, I gave it all my best. I still am trying to pursue that in a way. I'm trying to see if I could balance that with football and work and military lifestyle. I don't know if it's going to happen. If it does, great. But I've kind of, with the pandemic and everything, I've kind of gotten that idea that, that whole walk-on scenario, it could happen. It might not happen. Right now, my main priority is just getting financially stable and, working, trying to build my career in the military to the best of my ability.
Right.
But,
yeah. Do you feel like football really disciplined your mind as a youth coming up, and that kind of prepared you for what you were to expect with you joining the military?
It did. It definitely did. And to this day, I've had plenty of mentors, many very inspirational people in my life that have installed their vision in me. And that, again, those are just more coins to throw on top, more, building blocks of the person who I am today. When I talk to people, I tell them my age, and they say, "Oh, wow, you're 21, dude. You sound like a 35-year-old man." Like your mindset, that's how my mindset is so separate. And to this day, I thank them all, and all the people in my life, and I'm still learning today. I'm still learning from mentors and people that I've met through the military and the connections that you make.
Right. Yeah. I definitely do feel like school with me helped discipline my mind, because I didn't do sports growing up, and not in middle school or high school did I do sports, but my grades were always important to me. So, my work always really disciplined me. And I feel like that helped me when I got to college. And then with the job that I have now, it really kept me structured in that it makes me really want to focus on achieving better and just achieving, success and just doing better. So I really do feel like school, in my part, really disciplined me.
Definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah. When you came to Maryland in middle school, I want to say, how was that experience? Like, you were in Maryland for a couple years. How would you chalk up your experience here in the DMV?
I enjoyed it, man. This is my home. My mom finds it crazy that I consider this place home, but I don't know. It's always been a thing of me to consider Virginia, DC, even Maryland as home. Honestly, just has a home vibe feeling. I know some people get tired of Virginia very fast, which is understandable, and they try to leave and move, and that's cool. I mean, to each his own, But for me, it's just when I left, I was moved all the way to Maine, and that was a big culture shock. And coming back to Virginia just felt nice. I felt like back where I needed to be, and I'm in the best place where I can do that for my career, school, and everything is lining up. So I've got to thank for that. And but my growing up in Maryland, I guess to kind of pinpoint that, it was a great experience. Met great friends and had good people to kind of, direct me the right way. And, definitely made a lot of good relationships with people. And it's kind of like where my football stuff started kind of growing. That's where I started seeing that growth. And, yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely. We had some good times middle school and a little bit in high school. Like we was part of the same friend group in a way. So we kind of came up together in a lot of ways, but it was such a fun time just being a kid here in Maryland. Like it's a small county and it's really slow, but I like that. I don't have to be so fast paced. I can just kind of enjoy everything. So I always loved growing up here.
Yeah. You did. Yeah. I thought Maryland was slow. And, and the way everything went. But when I moved to Maine, it taught me a whole different type of slow.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of country boy stuff, man. And I enjoyed it, though. It taught me a different way to view life and how to, actually enjoy nature and stuff. And that stuff I enjoy nowadays. So.
Right. How long were you in Maine for?
I was in Maine from my sophomore year all the way until my senior year.
Gotcha.
So about a good 4 years-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I had pretty much left.
Got you. Okay. Shifting gears from that, talk to me about some of the hobbies that you like to do in your downtime when you're not working or you don't have school tying you down. What are some of the things that you like to do?
Some things that I like doing. I definitely love grilling. That's like my thing. I don't know.
That's what's up.
I sound like a dad now. I sound old. But I love grilling, man. When I had my first grill, it was just a great experience. I don't know, something about it. Grilling. Sometimes I like to go shoot a lot. My job specifies it as well, so I always have to go and make sure my shots are up to par. And right now they're a little off, but pretty much, yeah. I like going to the range a lot and shooting. I like working out a lot. Definitely is a big thing for me. I don't really play too many video games or watch TV, but when I do, like I prefer some shows. Like my number one show right now is a show called like The Mandalorian with like Star Wars series type stuff.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's a good show, man.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot. Kind of getting into that, but overall, just going, just nature stuff. And if I still would visit Maine, which I probably will, probably snowmobiling, skiing. I love stuff like that. Believe it or not, I learned how to ski one day, and I was just like, all right.
That's what I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn how to ski myself.
Yeah, man, it took a lot of hard balls, but I mean, I love it, and I like Maine, and I mean, eventually I'll go back. Just I won't move there. It's just a good place to visit here and there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into grilling also. Like, I'm tired of eating fried food and stuff. Like, Easter, we had like a big dinner and all that. I'm like, you know what? Next time we do something like this, I want some grilled food. Like, I'm talking grilled chicken, grilled shrimp, grill some veggies on the grill, all that stuff, man. Like, I'm trying to eat right. I'm trying to eat healthy. Like, that's something that's been interesting me for a while.
Yeah, something about it. I don't know. That charcoal smell gets it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get also into working out too with the lifting. Like, I like to focus on cardio and jogging stuff, but I also want to build a little bit of muscle to my frame also. So I like to do those things on my when I have free time on the side.
Definitely.
Yeah. With school, was that something you were always passionate about growing up, or did it not really matter as much to you?
So, like, at first, I thought, like, school had to be the pathway that I needed to go. I took a break from, I didn't take a break. I took a break from high school to college. That makes sense. So, like, I took it for about a year and just did the military stuff, went to boot camp or basic training, whatever you want to call it. From there, I started learning a lot of stuff about the military that I wish I would have known, in high school. I feel like those recruiters that come during lunchtime or during the morning, they don't give you all the good, what comes from it. And when I had learned everything, I was like, oh, wow, there's people going to college for the type of jobs I have, and they're paying, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 just out of their own money. And I'm getting this for what? Free? And I'm getting paid for this? Like, it's insane. And the time frame that I get my certification for some of these career fields is just, I can get it less than 3-4 months, and it takes the average college student to go for almost 3-4 years to go get it done. So it's like the military definitely has helped me. I'm using that as a stepping stool for my life. And I mean, right now I just cross-trained from medical and came into law enforcement. So that's interesting, and it's definitely something that I'm very passionate about. And yeah, the military is definitely for school. Like, they give me benefits to go to school and stuff, so it's very helpful. I'm actually going to be going to Old Dominion University here pretty shortly as well. So.
Right. Would you say that your family swayed your decision to join the military, or was that all on you? Was that your decision solely to go to the military?
So right after high school, I looked at the military, and I had in my mindset I'm becoming a Marine. That was like my number one mindset. I was like, I'm going to go ahead, be a Marine, be a double dog. And my stepfather he was Air Force, he bled blue for like 20 something years, almost 30 years. So like, having a son wanting to become a Marine versus the Air Force was a little different.
Right.
And, my mom, my stepfather, they just didn't agree with it, but they did support it. To this day, though, I'm just very happy I didn't make that decision to go to the Marine Corps. My stepfather definitely had a hand in steering me in the right path to be going in the Air Force. And the Air Force, I'm very thankful for it. I have my hands, I respect all the branches, but at the end of the day, from what I've seen and how branches work, the Air Force really does take care of its people. And it's definitely not an easy branch to get into, from what I've been told. A lot of people try to get into it, and they just can't get into it because of like the IQ test and stuff. But no, the Air Force is really, taking care of me. It's allowing me to go to school. It's allowing me to have a balance in life, and it's helped me financially. And have had some really cool experiences in the military thus far, and even meeting people. That's also a big thing of networking. I know people all over the world, man. I know people in Nigeria. I know people in then Europe, Italy, France, Germany, and then Japan. Like I'm telling you, I just know a lot of people that I've worked with,
Nice.
that I've met. And no, it's a good experience, man. It's definitely. I wish I would have known more about it before going in, but
Yeah, it's nice how parents know best sometimes, and you think that they don't know. Because, like you said, you wanted to join the Marines and do that. I wanted to go to university, like straight out of high school, and my mom was like, "Nah, I want you to do community college. I want you to get a taste of what college is like before you jump into it." And I'm thinking, "Nah, like I gotta put myself out there. I gotta join a fraternity. I gotta do all this stuff." And she was like, "No, I don't think you should do that, but I'll support you." And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not ready to go to college or university yet. I think I am going to stay home for 2 years." So I did that route, and it was the best thing ever. I saved a ton of money. I had all these scholarships, so I didn't have to pay out of pocket for anything. And I really grew as a person here in Maryland. Of course, COVID happened, and I can't go on campus at Bowie State. But, once that day comes, I do feel confident that I can do all the things that I wanted to do, because now I'm more sure of myself, and I believe in myself more, that that I'm worthy of being a good person and for people to appreciate and admire. So kudos to my mom for that. Shout out to Ma Dukes. I know she's listening to it, but yeah, it's weird how parents work.
yeah, moms know best, man. I sound so old now, man. I swear, but no, they really do. There's been times where my mom has told me things, and I did the opposite, and it ended up biting me back in the rear, man. So, I definitely agree that moms know best. And even if it's something you don't want to believe or something you don't want to agree with, it's true.
Yeah.
And history has proven it. So, yeah.
Factual. Hey, talk to me about your experience working in the medical side of things while being in the military, because I know you said you did some of that. How was that experience for you?
That was cool. I enjoyed it a lot. Again, I worked with a lot of cool people, did a lot of trainings. Most of all my training was done in Texas, San Antonio, where like the headquarters for most of everything is. Did some pretty cool things, learned how to do, I guess like combat, prep for like wounds and stuff, and tourniquets, and just how to like, save somebody from a gunshot wound. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. Also learned a lot with, just more health risks and health, conditions, and more in-depth stuff about medical, so that, no one really understands before, actually learning it. And then just like overall, just like, there's a way for everything, I guess, or to say. But, it was cool. I enjoyed it. It's just not something that me personally, I thought I'd see myself doing. I enjoyed it in my time that I was in it. And then after a while, to this day, I'm still thankful for that experience, but I wanted a different career field, and I wanted to choose something different. And then that's when I became security forces. And then when I went into tech school, when they sent me back to Texas, it was long. It wasn't super long, but it was long, just doing that training and stuff. But, now that I was done, I was just happy that, I could actually pursue that now. I have some goals in that career field right now, and definitely want to do something with like the SWAT team, with like EST, that is like emergency service teams for like on-base situations. And then, I don't know, my mind is still open. And like I said, all these career fields are free. I'm not paying a dime, to really like learn them, and they're transferable to civilian work. So that's also something that I'm adding to my toolbox, more jobs. And if security forces works out, cool. If not, then I'll probably go into, something different, like, probably special warfare or something like that.
Yeah, it's cool, man, because like from what I'm hearing with your experience in the military is that you can take all these chances with yourself, and you can try all these things out, and pretty much you ain't even got to pay for it. Like, honestly, I'm studying education, but like if I wanted to switch my degree from education to psychology, I got to pay for all these courses, and it's going to take me even longer to get my degree. But it's like with the military, you can try all these different things, and you may not like it, but it was for free, and now you have the experience that can help you in a way to your goal. So I think that's really cool.
Definitely, man. There's a bunch of jobs in the military. If I can give one piece of advice to anyone that's trying to go in the military, look into what it has to offer, benefit-wise, what each branch has, because there are a ton of jobs, ton of careers that you can select, that they'll literally send you to school for free while they pay. They're paying you to go to school. They're paying for your food. They're paying for you to sleep and work out. There's no better deal than that. And you're literally, it's simple stuff. Do your job. There's a time and place for everything. So, don't act like a fool at work. But, after work, if you want to, have a little fun, go for it. But just make sure it's responsible. And, I don't know, man. It's just, it's a lot. I'm going to tell you that. There's a lot of jobs out there, a lot of opportunities. And even you said something about psychology or, in that field, the military has jobs for that too. So
that's what's up. And the 3.5 years that you've been in the military, what's your favorite place that you've been? Or if you don't have one favorite place, what are like your top 2 or 3 favorite places?
I haven't really had a chance to really see all the bases around the country or been overseas yet. I think now that I'm in law enforcement in my career, I think I'm about to get exposed to that, which is nice. I've been able to work in Maine. That was cool. And my first base over there, got to transfer over here. Now I'm at Langley Air Force Base, so that's even a lot nicer, big law enforcement base. I work with a lot of great people in my unit, and those are my brothers and sisters. To this day, day one when I came here, I just fell in love with everyone. It's a big camaraderie, big family. Those guys are definitely when you get into that type of environment, you don't get that in the civilian side. You can't just go to work and not everyone's going to be your best friend. Not everyone you're going to like. But when it's a scenario where you can be deployed one day and this person next to you, could save your life one day, or can cost you to lose your life one day. It's just we all hold each other accountable, and we always during trainings and stuff. It's a big family love, is what I'm saying. And it's just Langley is definitely a place where I plan on staying for a while. Mm-hmm. Whether a guy wants to have me go somewhere else, great. I definitely would love to see some different places like Cali, probably Germany and Ramstein, or somewhere in Europe, maybe Italy, Spain. There's a bunch of places, a lot of Air Force bases. But right now, I'm just kind of enjoying it day by day because it goes quick, and then everything. This is baby and memories after that, man.
Absolutely, I feel you on that. So,
yeah.
How do you feel like the military life has disciplined you since you've graduated high school?
Definitely a lot. I think when I first got into the military right out of high school, I still had the mindset of, I guess, putting myself above everything, even if it was in the military. And you'll meet people like that. I've met people like that, and they still have that mindset that, this job sucks, or I hate my job, or I hate this, I hate that. I don't like leadership. Just a lot of military risk, military stuff that they, say out there. But for me, it's kind of like the I guess mentors that have told me, advice wise, is it's what you make of it. Even my stepfather has always told me that's what you make of it. If you're that guy that just comes in every day to clock in and then checks out, obviously your career is probably going to be very boring. But if you're that guy that's constantly volunteering for stuff, opportunities, deployments, to go overseas, you're going to have a blast. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm volunteering for whatever I can do. And, I'm enjoying it. I'm meeting new people and getting paid still, so it's the best of both worlds, man. And, like I said, I enjoy the people I work with. And there's nothing like it. It's like my second family that I just never had. And,
right. Yeah. I heard a quote a while back and it said, take what you have and make it something great. And it's like, I feel like that applies with life in general. You feel like your situation is bad, but you have the ability to change your mindset and think, okay, what can I do to make this bad situation something great and make it something to where I can enjoy it and not feel so down about myself. I've dealt with that at work when I've been in different classrooms I didn't want to be in, with school, taking a class that I hated. I honestly wanted to drop everything and quit, but quitting's not an option because I either just paid a lot of money for that class and I can't quit my job like that. So it's how can I make this experience more enjoyable? And it's the more I change my mindset and try to enjoy it, the more enjoyable it is. So it's if there's any advice I can give, is just that whatever bad situation you're in, try to make it something great, and enjoy yourself, have fun. Don't take yourself so serious. Like, just have fun, because that's just what life is all about.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I used to have that mindset of like, what's best for Geo? What does Geo need? What do I need? What can I do for me? And the military is kind of like, over time, it's taught me to just, service before self. And that's one of the, those are one of the main things of the Air Force. The main purposes is like excellence in all we do, and a whole bunch of everything and stuff like that. But for me, it's just like putting that service before self was big. Like when things that don't go my way, or sometimes I have to stay later at work, or like things just doesn't go exactly my way. I still have to learn that my job is important. It's big, and it's bigger than me. So it's taught me to go with the punches and just continue to strive and do great on my job, because at the end of the day, it's nothing better than making sure people are safe and saving lives. It's really cool, man.
Yeah, I've also learned, like, since coming out of high school, is that, like, in life you have to be a team player. Even if you don't want to work with that person that you're working with, it's like you have to work with that person, because you all have to achieve a common goal. And if you don't work together, then the communication breaks down and nothing gets achieved. So it's like sometimes you have to put aside your differences and put aside your selfish tendencies and think, how can I elevate this group and make it something better? And you just have to work together. So it's unfortunate, but that's life.
No, exactly. I mean, you think about all these military branches, and it's got to be a team player. There's no leader. I mean, yes, there's officers, there's captains and stuff, but at the end of the day, there still have to be a team player, because the mission doesn't work without everyone. And that's something that I've learned, and that's in life. Family does not work without everyone. You need to have everyone to do their part in order for it to be, that mission to be fulfilled, to complete, successfulness. So, like, yeah, with all these, planes that you see hearing or that you see flying, it's not just, oh, here's money and boom, we have a plane. Like, no, like, people build those planes, people clean those planes, people fuel those planes. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's behind it, that every career, every person, it's a big family. That's what I'm saying. Like, the military is not just a job. I don't know, when I see people say that it's a job. Like, it's a job, I understand that, but it's a career, you know what I mean? It's something that you're doing, it's big. And it's, yeah, I mean, you'll never forget those people you were always working with.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And so my last question to you before I go ahead and let you go is, sticking with the topic of discipline, if you could offer a piece of advice to someone lacking discipline or looking to be more, have more discipline with their life, what would you say to that person?
So advice-wise, I mean, the piece of knowledge that I can give that I wish someone would have told me growing up, I can pass on to someone else, is, again, just being patient, not rushing things, and also being aware. Like, situational awareness is key, because, like, when you're more aware of what you're doing and where you're at and who you're hanging out with and stuff like that, it can really impact your life. You hang out with the wrong crowd, you're going to be in the wrong crowd, and eventually you're going to be so adapted to that you eventually will be that individual that's doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. If you're hanging out with people who are trying to get to that next level and they're trying to become better, and, then you're going to become successful as well. There's not, like, there's no secret to it. There's no secret sauce or whatever it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just whether or not, just understanding, and the people you're with, and, the patience, and then, over time, when you keep getting older, everything else will fall into place. You know what I mean? For younger people, youth, things will fall into place. They'll become more mature as time goes on because of life experiences, and that's what worked for me, was life experiences. I learned things the hard way, and sometimes we need that in life to be able to change and to be better people, better individuals, a better man or a better, woman, regardless.
Right. I feel like you also have to want it too. Like you have to want better for yourself. And once you want better, I feel like that's when that discipline will set in because you know you have a goal in mind, you know what you want to achieve. So now you just have to put everything into place and just achieve that. And you know you can't slack off on the job, can't slack off when you have certain assignments that need to get done. So you just do it because you know there's going to be consequences if you don't do it. So I feel like discipline sets in when you have a plan in mind and you know what you want out of life.
Exactly.
Yup. Well, Gio, thank you so much for your time. I had a great time catching up with you. Time just went by so fast during our conversation, and I really appreciated you taking the time out to sit and talk with me again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time as well, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you again.
Yup. All right, bro. We'll be in touch.
All right, then, sir. Thank you.
Yup. All right. This wraps up the podcast. Stay blessed and stay encouraged.